What's up YouTube, my name's Ravlar and welcome back to another video. So, a few months back, you guys may recall I made a video where I explored Runescape 3's largest botting gold farms. Now, since then, a couple of very large bot makers have got in contact with me and shared some other large gold farming places which botters use, which I didn't cover. They said it's quite alright to put this information in another video, as long as they remain anonymous, and they didn't mind sharing this because it wasn't their personal method of botting. Now, of course, even though they are breaking the rules by botting themselves, I will keep them anonymous because they are helping me to make this content for the community. But with that being said, I just want to make it very clear that botting is very much against the rules, and you will probably get banned if you do so, so don't be an idiot and don't risk it. But anyway, sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. Now, one huge source of GP for these gold farmers are runecrafting bots. Now, the thing is with runecrafting bots, they are very versatile. You can be set up to be doing any type of rune, but I've been told that the most profitable bots focus on fire runes in free-to-play and air runes in free-to-play. Now, free-to-play botting is a huge issue as it's pretty widespread across the game, but as fire runes are 75 GP each now, this is quite a common method that free-to-play bots use, and some of them are absolutely hilarious. Like, look at this guy. You can definitely tell that this guy is 100% legit, and most definitely not a bot. Wink wink. But anyway, moving on to runecrafting in members servers, one of the most profitable bots is a nature rune bot. Now, there are different variances of nature rune bots, but the two most common ones are the first type, which is actually going through the abyss by using an amulet of glory or a wilderness sword, and it just banks in Edgeville and comes back again to the nature altar, makes the runes, and does the cycle all over again. Now, personally, when I've not been recording and doing my daily Wicked Hood runs, I've seen accounts with literally of 20 base stats, but literally their runecrafting level is like 115, which is ridiculous. Now, the second type of runecrafting bot is one which teleports to the Karamja lodestone and literally runs all the way to the nature altar, crafts the runes, and then quick teleports, or just teleports normally, to Falador or somewhere to bank the runes, teleports back to Karamja, and does the whole thing again. Now, most of the time they're just wearing a nature tiara, and yeah, you could quite clearly tell that they are bots. Now, of course, there are lots of legit players who do runecrafting for GP, but in general, you can probably tell that they are legit because they have some quest points, they have some well-rounded stats, and they don't have a name which is 67, you know? So yeah, a lot of legit players here, so don't go reporting everyone, but the fact is that this is a massive source of income for bots, so be wary. Now, another bot which I've been told is very common for gold farming is a daily rune run bot. Now, the thing is with these bots is that they are quite sporadic because you can only do rune runs once a day as the shops reset at the in-game reset time. Now, the thing is, these bots are often comboed with other bots as well, and this is just an additional thing which the script makers add to it to actually gain some additional profit. Now, as we mentioned earlier, free-to-play is very heavily botted, and alongside runecrafting and curse energies, which I mentioned in my last video, another very common source for GP is grape farmers. Now, as grapes are used for cooking XP, they are quite valuable at around 2.2k each. Now, in the quest A Shield of Arav, if you align with the Phoenix gang, you get access to their hideout, and here there is a spawn of grapes in one of the rooms. Now, what these bots do is that they just make free throwaway accounts, and they just stay in these rooms and hop worlds until their inventory is full and then go and bank them. Now, in every single free-to-play world, there's pretty much one of these bots, so go ahead and have a look. Now, when it comes to monster killing bots in RuneScape 3, there are quite a few which I mentioned in the last video, the most popular of which was probably the Godwall's Dungeon 1 bots which kill spiritual warriors and mages. But since then, I've been made aware of quite a bit more. Now, one of the very popular ones is an Aberrant Spectre bot. Now, apparently, Aberrant Spectre bots are making around 1 to 1.5 mil an hour by just killing Aberrant Spectres, and you can normally tell that they are a bot because they have the minimum level required for killing Aberrant Spectres and a very high ranged or magic stat. They also just wear a nose peg and probably a berserker ring along with an obby cape and some shitty gear. The rest of the stats are pretty shit, and they have close to no quest points. Now, my sources tell me that pre the mining and smithing rework, there were almost a couple on every single world, and they would be running constantly, and in total they would supply a lot of GP for these gold farmers. Now, since the mining and smithing rework happened, gargoyles have become an extremely profitable monster to kill, and since then a lot of actual bot makers are making scripts catering for these. Now, I've been told that as gargoyles are now quite popular to kill for legitimate players, gold farmers are actually trying to avoid attention by buying hacked accounts with well-rounded stats and quest points and botting those instead of making accounts specifically to farm gargoyles. Now, speaking of bought accounts to bot with, the biggest place which I've been told that bought accounts are botted with to make money is the Chaos Dwarf Battlefield. Now, the issue is with getting here, you need to actually have done quite a tough quest in terms of requirements. So that is why a lot of the accounts you will see here which are being botted are actually hacked accounts which are being bought by the gold farmers. Now, this is quite a profitable method because, of course, they get access to the Dragon Pickaxe drop, which is worth a good chunk of money, and also they regularly get hand cannon drops which are disassembled for crackling components and are therefore quite expensive. Also, now would be a good time to point out that even though that this is a heavily botted place, does not mean that there are not legitimate players here farming the same thing. Anyway, another very common spot for gold farmers to bot is Turoffs. Now, Turoffs are actually a lot of GP per hour. I believe they are over 2 mil an hour in AUX, and there are a lot of bots here. Now, there are also a lot of legitimate players who just aggro pot with a Slayer staff for farming XP and some AUX, but unlike the other activities we've just mentioned, I think the bots here are pretty obvious to spot. Firstly, they'll probably have some randomly generated name like this dude here, and they're most definitely going to be using a leaf-bladed spear, but the most important tell will probably be the fact that they don't have a high Slayer level. They probably have only 57 Slayer, as this is the requirements to kill Turoffs. They will also probably be wearing some dodgy AF gear like an obby cape, a berserker ring, full rune or whatever, and they'll probably be using regenerate to gain their HP back. Now, I've been told by my sources that this is a huge source of GP for botting gold farmers, so if you're around here trading farming, keep your eye out for these and report these guys if you see the signs which I've pointed out. Now, the last place I want to cover today is probably the most bait botting place I've ever seen, and they are actually making a shit ton of GP. Now, this place is, of course, Frost Dragons. Now, I've probably not seen any more blatant bots ever than these guys over here. Now, the thing is with these guys, right, they're not very smart. They pretty much all dress the same, and their accounts have extremely weird builds. Now, I'm talking about literally 20 stats apart from melee stats and dungeoneering. But yeah, these are a huge source of GP for botting gold farmers, and there is one in almost every single fucking world. So, if you're going here for whatever reason, make sure to report these guys. Well guys, that about covers it for this video. So, I want to thank those people who reached out to me and helped me with this information. I know you guys are breaking the rules, but I still appreciate you coming to me so I could make this video. And in that regard, if anyone has some kind of underground information or something that they want me to make a video on, I hope that you can trust. I will, of course, keep everything confidential. But don't use this as an excuse to bot. In fact, I really hope this video acts as a warning not to bot, because people are going to be more aware if you do, and you will get reported and probably banned. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please drop a thumbs up, and if you're new around here, subscribe for lots of RS3 content. But that's about it for now, guys. I'll see you in a couple of days with a very, very interesting video. You'll want to keep your eyes up for that. But for now, to the outro. Na 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 na.